All right, welcome. Today, we're jumping into something that's honestly a super powerful and essential skill in programming: how to manage files and folders directly with your Python code. This is all about giving your programs the smarts to clean up, organize data, and really interact with your computer's file system. But let's kick things off with the big question that really frames this whole thing. It's not just about deleting stuff. It's about how we can write smart, safe code that acts like a responsible assistant. Imagine you're building an app that creates temporary files. You need a rock-solid way to clean those up without ever crashing your program or deleting something you shouldn't. So how do we do that? How do we give our programs this power without causing total chaos? Okay, let's get right into it by looking at our main tool for deleting a single file. It's part of Python's OS module, and it's called os.remove. And you'll see it's incredibly powerful, but yeah, it comes with a little bit of risk. So how do you use it? It's actually super simple. First, you've got to import the OS module right at the top of your script. Then you just call this one little line of code, os.remove, and inside the parentheses, you just put the name of the file you want to get rid of. It's direct, it's fast, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, let's be absolutely clear about this warning. When Python tells you this is permanent, it means it. Seriously, there's no recycle bin, there's no undo button. A good way to think about it is like a digital paper shredder. The second you run that command, that file is just gone for good. So, using this thing is super easy. But you know the saying, with great power comes the need for some really good error handling. So what happens when things go a little sideways? Let's look at the most common problem you're going to run into. Think about it. Your program is running along. It's trying to clean up a temp file, but maybe that file was already deleted. Or maybe it was never even created. What does Python do when you tell it to delete something that just isn't there? This is what happens. Your program doesn't just print a nice little message or skip the step. Nope, the whole thing comes to a screeching halt with a big, ugly file not found error. And a crash like that, it's just frustrating for anyone using your software, and it's kind of a hallmark of code that isn't quite ready for prime time. So let's talk about the professional way to handle this, the way to make our code so much smarter and more reliable. We're not just going to blindly try to delete stuff anymore, we're going to learn to look before we leap. And the solution is just brilliantly simple. Over on the left, you see that risky one-line code. But look at the right. That's the safe way. Before we even think about calling os.remove, we use a simple if statement with os.path.exists to just ask Python, hey, real quick, does this file actually exist? And only if Python says, yep, it's here, do we go ahead and delete it. The crucial thing here is that this does way more than just stop a crash. It makes your code robust. It lets you give helpful feedback to your user, right? You can print a nice message saying, hey, that file wasn't found. This is what we call graceful error handling, and it's a huge part of writing really high-quality software. Okay, so we've pretty much mastered how to safely delete files. So let's build on that and see how we can delete entire folders or directories. The command is really similar. It's os.rmdir, but this one comes with one very important non-negotiable rule. So, deleting a folder is a pretty clear process. First, and this is the absolute most critical part, you have to make sure the folder is completely empty. Then, and only then, you can run the os.rmdir command. And of course, it's always good practice to check that it's actually gone. But let's really focus on that first step. And here it is, loud and clear. os.rmdir will only work if that folder is completely empty. If there's a single file in there, even a hidden file, or another folder, the command will fail and throw an error. And honestly, this is a good thing. It's a safety feature built right in to stop you from accidentally deleting a folder that's packed with important stuff. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's just take a breath, recap what we've learned, and build a quick little mental cheat sheet that you can take away from this and use in all your projects. This little table pretty much sums up everything. For files, you're going to use os.remove, and the golden rule is always check if it exists first. For folders, you use os.rmdir, and what's the crucial rule? The folder absolutely has to be empty, simple as that. So really, these are the three core ideas to just burn into your brain. Safety first, always. Understand the limitations, especially for folders. And finally, get comfortable with these two essential functions. If you get these three things right, you'll be writing clean, reliable, and error-free code for any file management you need to do. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You now have the fundamental tools to literally delete files and folders using your code. That power is in your hands. The real challenge, and what really makes a great developer, is how you use that power to build programs that aren't just effective, but are also safe and responsible for the people who use them.